Greetings, one and all. It is National Diabetes Awareness Month, November, and diabetes is a serious problem in the United States. And so we got to address it. Please eat better, consume more fruits and vegetables, get rid of the white sugar, cut back on all the cakes and ice creams and pies and sweets, and do some research on what you can do to prevent yourself from becoming diabetic. Okay? Protect yourself, protect your body, protect your kidneys. Seriously. Many of these sicknesses are avoidable. In some cases, they're not. It could be something that accidentally was in your food. It could be environmental causes. It could be hereditary. A lot of times it could be hereditary through the food, but they don't speak on that much. And so, like ladies, what you eat, if you end up with a child that is pretty much being developed inside of you, what you consume could affect that child, could affect their blood, their heart, and other organs, because the baby eats off of you through that umbilical cord, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to get into it. It's very important to eat correctly. Now, diabetes develops when the body does not produce enough insulin or cannot use insulin effectively. There are two main types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, an autoimmune disorder where the body's immune system attacks and destroys the insulin producing cells in the pancreas, usually diagnosed in childhood or adolescence. Type 2 diabetes, the most common type, is caused by a combination of factors including genetics, obesity, physical inactivity, unhealthy diet, age, right? So the risk increases with age, family history, and certain ethnicities, African American, Hispanic, and American Indian. In type 2 diabetes, the body does not produce enough insulin or becomes resistant to its effects. This leads to high blood sugar levels. Okay? Now look at some of these combination factors. Genetics. All right. But the main thing, look at obesity, physical inactivity, and unhealthy diet. Now, obesity, physical activity, and unhealthy diet seems to really go together. And imagine no physical, like, you know, not enough physical activity, unhealthy diet, and obesity, and aging. And so you've been carrying that extra weight in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s. When you start getting in your 50s, a lot of times towards the edge, now here we go with the problems. Because your body has been fighting, 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 fighting. And you haven't helped it fight because you don't move much. You don't have any physical activities. You're not exercising. You're eating a lot of stuff and drinking a lot of things that aren't good. And so you gain this weight. One of the main benefits I got as a person that tries to help people go plant based, my biggest advantage is being born in 1958 and growing up in the 60s and the 70s as a regular Black American child and teenager. So I know for sure that the food is horrible because the food was not always horrible. I actually watched the food become horrible. I've actually watched the standard American diet change from the early days when I was young. I've watched the slow introduction to TV dinners. And TV dinners were something, a frozen dinner that nobody ate, but it was like an emergency food, mostly for men that came in from work late, maybe bus drivers, men that drive trains, people that worked at factories would take it for lunch. Many times, factory workers in those days, factories, the people that ate the worst was the 11 to 7 shift or 11:30 to 7:30 shift. Usually ate the worst. And slowly, Americans began to eat pizza. Pizza wasn't that big in the early 60s. Pizza didn't really get big until the 70s. Burgers wasn't that big in the 60s. Burgers didn't really start getting big until the later 60s, like, 68, 67, 68. But they really took off in the 70s. And the food and inactivity kind of went hand in hand over the years. The schools started slacking on the gym program. See, my generation, I'm born 1958, and when I went to school, all you had to do what you had to do at gym. Gym was a serious class. I can't say for all over the country, but I can say in Chicago, Gym wasn't a joke. Unless you was a special child that had special needs, maybe you was kind of born a little bit overweight, they would cut some slack on you a little. Other than that, the gym teachers were a lot like military drill sergeants. I mean, you had to do what you had to do at gym, and gym was a blessing. As a young child coming up in the 60s at the public schools, when it comes to our health in school, two of the biggest blessings ever was gym and recess. Because at recess, we'd go out and run around like a bunch of wild banshees. And another thing that was a blessing was a contraption called a bicycle. And when a child got a bicycle, they'd ride and 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 ride. Imagine how much calories we burnt on those bikes. We would ride. Now, the girls, not so much. But the girls had a lovely thing that kept them in shape. And the thing that kept the girls in shape was a thing that boys couldn't do, and it was called double dutch. And if you think about it now, imagine if we was doing double dutch, boy, you got to be in shape. The girls were strong as oxes. Even if a girl was kind of thick, she was strong. She wasn't obese or fat. And she was strong. The girls were strong because that double dutch, I would say, is the most exercise in my childhood when it comes to playing. Because a bike, you sitting down, your legs getting exercised, but double dutch, you got to do the whole body. It's no boys could do double dutch. We couldn't do it. The girls' hand-eye coordination, feet coordination was amazing. I never even could get in. I could never get in. The rope always catch me. Two ropes. I could jump one rope, but two of them. Oh man! And then turning. That's a lot of exercise, and they do it for hours. They would play double dutch from like 5 in the evening, easily till 6:30, 7 o'clock, or 2 straight hours. So that kept us in shape. But over the years, all those things went away. And television got more and more popular. Parties where you dance became less and less popular because people started fighting at the parties. There was a little less dancing. Because dancing was another thing we did to stay in shape. When I was in high school, we would dance. We come out the banquet hall with our shoes in our hands. We would be really, really dancing hard, be tired from dancing. Dancing was a serious thing in the 70s, in the mid 70s. Dancing was serious. We took it very serious. And all of that's gone away, and now the food is worse. The food has changed over. I know for foundational Black Americans, our food changed over. I think the potato salad was healthier than the mac and cheese. We didn't really do that much mac and cheese in the 60s and the 70s. But slowly we did less string beans, less collard greens, less mustard greens, less corn on the cob, less sweet potatoes, and more starch. We began to eat meat, bread, cheese, and potatoes. So as you start coming out of the 80s, Americans switched to meat, bread, cheese, and potatoes. And that just wiped us out. Nothing to help your digestive system, less exercise, and Americans began to get sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. And that's how we end up with a situation where we have a problem with obesity, physical inactivity, and unhealthy diet. Now, other factors is gestational diabetes, and that's developing during pregnancy and usually resolves after birth. Then we have pancreatic disease or injury can damage the insulin producing cells in the pancreas. And certain medications, some medications such as steroids, can increase the risk of developing diabetes. On a side note, it is important to note that not everyone who has risk factors for diabetes will develop it. However, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, such as eating balanced, exercising regularly, and managing weight can help reduce the risk. Now, this is crazy. I've been doing this every year for a while now, since I've been doing my lives, and now that I'm over this channel, some of these I've been doing on my other channel. And so I'm updating things I'm talking about a lot. And what's crazy is last year I posted key findings include 37.3 million Americans, about 1 in 10 have diabetes. About 1 in 5 people with diabetes do not know they have it. I posted this in 2024. In 2023. Yeah, I posted this in 2023. My bad. In 2023, it was reported there was 37.3 million Americans, about 1 in 10 that had diabetes. So I looked it up in 2024, and it jumped from 37.3 million to 38 million. It jumped up since last year to 38 million instead of 37.3. That's not good. And this is not accurate. That's why I say approximately, so it could easily be more, could be a little less. As of 2024, approximately 38 million Americans have diabetes, which is about 1 in 10 people. This includes both diagnosed and undiagnosed cases, and about 29.3 million people have been diagnosed, while nearly 9.7 million have it but are unaware. Diagnosis versus undiagnosis. Out of an estimated 38 million people, 29.3 million have been diagnosed with diabetes, and 9.7 million have been diagnosed but are unaware of their conditions. Prevalence. The prevalence of diabetes is about 1 in 10 Americans, or 10% of the population. Whoa. That's a lot. That's a lot, 10% of the population with diabetes. when another percentage got cancer and another percentage got this cancer, that cancer, that cancer, and that cancer. So just think about all the different cancers, the colon cancer, the lung cancer, and all that. How many different people got that? Breast cancer, cancer of the uterus, prostate cancer. And then think about all these people that's got diabetes. And then you think about all the people that has kidney failure, that's on dialysis. Wow. Type 2 diabetes, about 90% to 95% of these cases are type 2 diabetes. Pre-diabetes, in addition to those with diabetes, 98 million American adults have pre-diabetes, which is more than 1 in 3 adults. More than 1 in 3 adults have pre-diabetes. That's like 1.5 out of, that's like one, maybe 1.2 out of 3. So it's like if it's 300, it might be like 120 out of 300. That's crazy. Boy, what are we going to do? What are we going to do, y'all? Type 2 diabetes is a preventable condition. Here are evidence-based strategies to significantly reduce your risk. Lifestyle modifications. Maintain a healthy weight. Excess body weight increases insulin resistance. Aim for a BMI between 18.5 and 24.9. Engage in regular physical activity. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise per week. So if you just do something vigorous for 10 minutes every day, that could make a major difference. Eat balanced. Focus on consuming whole grains, fruits, vegetables. Limit processed foods, sugary drinks, and unhealthy fats. If you're transitioning off of animal products, go for white meat, right? While you're transitioning, and go for fish like whiting, perch, while you're trying to transition, right? Turkey would be all right, but try to eat the white meat of the chicken and the turkey if possible. I mean, the dark meat don't be too much different. But what you could actually do is cut back on your portions while you're transitioning into a vegetarian lifestyle that later you will transition again into a vegan lifestyle. Always transition vegetarian first. That allow you to keep your eggs and your dairy, right? And just get off the animal, okay? So always transition, right, to vegetarian first, okay? Transition to vegetarian first. Then, right, once you get your, wheels to rolling, And that's what I teach in the easiest way to become a vegan. Transition to vegetarian first, and then you go to vegan, all right? And make sure you get the easiest way to become a vegan. Check this out, and we're going to finish.
Peace, health, and longevity. If you want to consume more plant-based foods, if you want to abstain from junk foods, if you want to consume fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and herbs, and avoid dead flesh, artificial flavors and colorings, sweeteners, anything that is unreal basically, purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan by Pharaoh Ramesses El Aton, who has been a vegan 40 plus years. He will take you step by step on how to abstain from the junk foods, how to abstain from the dead flesh, the chicken, the turkey, the pork, beef, and all sorts of animal products. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan, to eat more natural. Remember that the herbs are for the healing of the nations. Let food be your medicine, and let medicine be your food. Consume of every fruit-bearing and herb-bearing tree. Unto you it shall be for meat. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan, by Pharaoh Ramesses El Aton. Peace, health, and longevity.
Okay, all right. So get the easiest way to become a vegan, and that'll help you transition. And so it's very important for you to follow these lifestyle modifications, eat balanced, and manage stress. Chronic stress can raise your blood sugar levels. Practice stress reducing techniques such as yoga, meditation, or exercise. And whatever you do, if you smoke, quit smoking. Smoking increases the risk of diabetes and its complications, and it increased the risk of cancer. All kind of cancer, mouth cancer, throat cancer, lung cancer, okay? So you don't want to be smoking, okay? You don't want to be smoking. You want to cut the smoking, all right? Now, one of the worst things about this whole situation is unmanaged diabetes can damage or destroy your kidney over time by damaging the small blood vessels that filter waste from your blood. This can lead to chronic kidney disease, which progresses over many years and can eventually result in kidney failure. Every stage of kidney damage often have no symptoms. So now just imagine you don't take care of yourself, you end up a diabetic, and then on top of all of that, you end up having to be on dialysis. You see? And dialysis It's best for somebody else to tell you about that. Check this out.
So a lot of you guys have been asking what dialysis is like. Well, long story short, it fucking blows. It's not fun at all. It's so draining. Like it's one of those things that no matter how much explaining I do, you'll never really truly understand what it's like until you've done it. And I do not wish that upon anybody because it sucks. But I mean, you're hooked up to a machine, an artificial kidney that is filtering your blood for like 3 or 4 hours, right? So you can probably imagine that's not fun exactly. If you've ever given blood or know someone who's given blood and they've explained it to you a little bit, it's kind of like that times like 1,000. Because the idea is like, sure, they're taking blood, but they're filtering it through the artificial kidney and then returning it to you, right? And it has to do all the blood in your whole system, and that takes a long time. So that's why you usually have to run like 3 or 4 hours, right? And it's so draining. It's, first of all, it also takes a lot of water weight off of you. That's like one of the main things it does, right? You go in at a certain weight, and then they try to get you to what's called your dry weight. So like when I went in today, I was 66.5 kilograms, and my dry weight is 63.5 kilograms. So that's 3 kilograms, which is about like 6 or so pounds, a little more than 6 pounds. So across that 4 hours, I'm losing 6 pounds of water weight. That's what it is. It's like liquid weight. It's excess fluid that is like on my body because my kidneys are not doing their job, right? So that's like one of the main things that dialysis does. And you can imagine like losing 6, 7, 8 pounds in like 3, 4 hours. Like that's a lot, right? And it makes you feel lighter, but like almost more hollow. Like that's a good way to just explain how you feel afterwards. You feel like you've literally just been drained, like a vampire has just like sucked half of your blood out. And it kind of has, it just like gave it back, right? But you literally feel so drained and like kind of hollowed out. It's like, good might not be the right word for it, but it's better than the like, I don't know, just like overbearing feeling of just like having a lot of excess fluid on you and just like being chunky. Because like I'll try to show a video, but like right now I just got off of dialysis, right? Like I'm looking pretty like, I don't know, like slim, I guess. And I'm a skinny person, but I'll try to show on Sunday like that, because that's the longest stretch I go without dialysis. On Sunday, I'm like more chunky. You can see it in my face, in my wrist, like right here. I can easily do that. I got a lot of wiggle room to like move my watch and everything, stuff like that. This is my dog, Tally, say hi. But on Sunday, when I'm all chunked up, like it's probably very minimal to the eye, but feeling wise, I feel majorly just like heavy. So the opposite side of that, after dialysis, you feel really light, but again, it's sort of like a hollow light. Like you feel like you've been hollowed out. And that's like, it's so tiring. All that liquid and fluid being taken off can make you way more susceptible to cramps. And if you sneeze while like super dry, after a bunch of fluid has been taken off of you, at least in my experience, sneezing, man, that can like lock up my abs and my stomach. And like, oh my gosh, that's one of the worst pains, like from dialysis and everything. It feels like my insides are being like wringed out. But like I said, long story short, dialysis is not fun. It's very tiring. It's very just draining. But weirdly, I always, even though like physically I'm like drained, mentally I'm like pumped, because I'm just like, I'm like renewed, rejuvenated, in a sense of like, okay, I'm good. Like they just reset me. Like I now don't have to worry about dialysis for as long as until I have my next dialysis, right? So that's like a nice feeling. But yeah, dialysis, it sucks.
So you don't want to go through that. You don't want to go through that. You don't want to have to go through dialysis. And when you start having medical problems, this is what they call comorbidities. So these one medical problem a lot of time leads to two or three because the body's all connected. Even your car is the same way. There's certain things can happen to one part of your car that affects another part of your car. So the body is all connected. And so when you don't take care of yourself and you start going into the phase of diabetes, you're putting a lot of stress on your liver, your kidneys, your entire body. Yes, diabetes can lead to the need for dialysis because high blood sugar levels can damage the kidney's filter system over time. A condition called diabetic nephropathy, I know this word, neuropathy. Yeah, neuropathy. You don't pronounce the P. Diabetic neuropathy. When this damage is severe, the kidneys can no longer filter waste from the blood, leading to kidney failure and requiring dialysis to stay alive. So let me read that again. When this damage is severe, the kidneys can no longer filter waste from the blood, leading to kidney failure and requiring dialysis to stay alive. And then you're going to need a kidney transplant, which could take 6 years, 8 years, and some people don't make it. Damage to filtering units. So this is how diabetes damages the kidneys. Damage to filtering units. High blood glucose levels damage the tiny filtering units in the kidneys called nephrons. That's why it's called neuropathy, right? Because you damage the nephrons. Scarring and leaking. Over time, the nephrons can thicken and become scarred. They may also start to leak, allowing protein to pass into the urine. That sounds crazy. Waste buildup. Eventually, the damage becomes so severe that the kidney can't filter waste products from the blood, causing them to build up in the body. And when you have those type of problems, that, from the diabetes could lead to kidney damage, which could lead to amputation. Prevalence of limb loss. 185,000 people have an amputation every year, which means 300 to 500 amputations are completed each day. The most common cause of limb loss are vascular disease and trauma. It just goes from bad to worse. It goes from bad to worse. There's no other way to say it. It goes from bad to worse. And it affects everybody. It affects the youth because if you're not eating right, your children are not eating right. Yes, recent CDC data indicates that approximately 1 in 3 adolescents in the U.S. ages 12 to 17 have prediabetes, according to multiple news sources. This translates to about 8.4 million teenagers. This alarming statistic highlights a significant increase in prediabetes rates among young people and raises concerns about the future health of this generation, particularly regarding the risk of developing type 2 diabetes and other related health complications, according to news reports, which is absolutely crazy. I watched Donald Trump talking, and he was saying that a few decades ago, 1 in 10,000 children had autism. Today is 1 in 31. In 1960, less than 5% of children were obese. Now over 20% are obese. Since the 1970s, childhood cancer has grown by nearly 50%. So our overall health is horrible. Absolutely horrible. We haven't been taking care of ourselves at all. It's sad. You have to put some effort into taking care of yourself. You have to. It's an emergency. You see it. It's not a joke. And so get everybody you know to subscribe over here to Vegan Intel. And let's try to see if we can save our relatives and our friends and family and save people in the country and around the world. Because this don't make no sense that 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. This is ridiculous. And it's either going to go down or it's going to go up. There's no two ways about it. It's either going to go down or it's going to go up. So you all, let's make some changes. Let's make some changes. I'm glad you could join me. Make sure you support the channel and take this serious and change the way you eat. Take care of yourself. And I'm going to leave by showing you some of the unhealthy food we eat and some of the holidays that contribute to us eating unhealthy. All right? Victory.